Hello, and welcome to the Reluctant EV Owner YouTube channel. I created this channel to share my experiences with electric vehicles in general and specifically my Tesla Model Y. I bought the Tesla Model Y reluctantly when the price of petrol and diesel shot through the roof following the closure of the Strait of Hormuz. Please check out my other videos, please like them, feel free to subscribe and add comments. I'm going to run through what happened when I stopped at a Gridserve charger. The scenario is that I was travelling back from my father's down the M1 southbound and I needed a comfort break before the charger was scheduled. So I thought, right, am I going to stop at another Tesla supercharger? And I just thought, no, I'm going to stop at the next services, which happen to be Watford Gap, and Watford Gap have Gridserve chargers. So I stopped at the Gridserve charger, plugged the car in and presented my credit card, and it was all very, very easy. Started to charge, and I then went into the services. The entrance was very close. We were parked very close to the entrance, so it didn't take long to go in, have a quick comfort break, and get back to the car. And in that time, it added 50 miles of range, which is not too bad. I couldn't see how much had been charged at that point. There was probably something on the display, but I couldn't see it very well. It was quite a sunny day. So I got back in the car and set off on my journey home. To be honest, when I stopped, I hadn't really even considered what it was going to cost me. So I realised it was going to be a bit more expensive than Tesla. As a general rule, Tesla superchargers are less expensive. And I'd kind of thought, oh, it's somewhere around 75, maybe 80p per kilowatt hour. And as a quick stop, it's not really a problem. What's it going to cost me? A fiver, whatever. Looking at the Gridserve website, it has a headline figure of 82p per kilowatt hour, with small print saying it can be as much as 89. And guess what? Yeah, motorway service station, of course, it was the absolute highest, 89p per kilowatt hour. The Gridserve website says that the average charging cost is about 18 pence per mile. So I actually did the calculation for what my stop had cost, and it was a bit more than that. It had cost me £12.68p to add 50 miles, which is actually just over 25p per mile. There were a couple of options to stop at Tesla superchargers. I could have stopped a bit earlier at Crick. That would have cost me 69p per kilowatt hour, or I could have held on a little bit. Then I could have stopped at Northampton Grange Park, and that's 45p per kilowatt hour. So significantly cheaper, and it cost me, for the convenience of going to Gridserve and being very close to my comfort break stop, it cost me about an extra £5 in electricity, which is a lot of money. But this comes down to what I really wanted was a comfort break. And I'm not sure that all Tesla stops actually have toilet facilities. I did ask Grok whether or not the Crick and Grange Park had toilet facilities, but it was a bit non-committal, saying that, yeah, there was probably some nearby at the hotel or shopping centre or whatever, but that wasn't good enough. What I really wanted was a comfort break. And this kind of gets to the philosophy of long-distance travelling in an electric car, that when you stop, you're doing something else, you can put electricity in and you can be charging the car without actually adding any extra time to the journey, because you're doing two things at once. You're going for a comfort break and you're adding electricity, or you're getting a coffee and you're adding electricity. So that makes a big difference to long journeys. So if you have to say, oh, I'm going to stop and I'm not going to put any electricity in and I'm going to go for a comfort break, that means that at some other point you're going to have to stop longer. So there is a balance to be struck between how long you're actually stopped, how much of that is dedicated charging time that you couldn't do something else, and how much of it was you were charging because you were doing something else anyway. And the ideal is you're always charging because you're doing something else anyway, therefore not adding extra time to your journey. So do I regret stopping at the Watford Gap Gridserve? From a financial perspective, yes, it was expensive. It was convenient though. Next time, I think I'll actually check out the closest Tesla supercharger and save me some money. And if that means I have to do another stop for a comfort break, then so be it. This is the Reluctant EV Owner. If you have liked this video, please press the like button, please subscribe, and please add some comments. I've now made several videos about Tesla and EVs in general, so if you get the chance, please take a look at some of my other videos. Until next time, thank you.